federal court this afternoon to face charges related to a live streaming report he did at a protest during a church service in St. Paul, Minnesota. Here's what he told reporters afterwards.
Last night, the DOJ sent a team of federal agents to arrest me in the middle of the night for something that I've been doing for the last 30 years, and that is covering the news. The First Amendment of the Constitution protects that work for me and for countless of other journalists who do what I do. I stand with all of them, and I will not be silent. I look forward to my day in court.
You know, so in this clip, we're going to keep covering this whole situation with Don Lemon, I guess I have to say it the right way for transcripts. We're going to cover this clip of Don Lemon stating that he will not be silenced. We're going to talk about CNN, how CNN is covering it. We're going to show you the real Don Lemon who won't be silenced. I don't like people with borderline personality disorders, and I'll leave that allegation right there. You know, for liability purposes, allegedly, that's what we'll say about this man. But Don Lemon says he will not be silenced. Don Lemon was given a standing ovation at one of those Hollywood award shows. I think it was the Grammys last night. I don't know. I don't watch these things anymore. I'm over performance. Really am. Music isn't even the same, right? So, and
I will not be silent. I look forward to my day in court.
Well, along with Don Lemon, 3 other people were arrested, including Minnesota independent journalist Georgia Fort. She went before a judge today. She joins us tonight. We'll have that interview in a moment. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the arrests are connected to a, quote, coordinated attack on City's church nearly 2 weeks ago. But Lemon and Ford say they were doing their jobs as journalists and were not protesters. All 4 arrested are charged with 1 count of conspiracy against right of religious freedom at place of worship and 1 count of injure, intimidate, and interfere with exercise of right of religious freedom at place of worship. In announcing their arrests on social media this morning, Bondi used the words, quote, at my direction, which is not what you typically see from an attorney general. The White House has posted this photo with the words, when life gives you lemons, along with a chain emoji. President Trump has been critical, obviously, of Don Lemon for years. Lemon himself has not been shy in calling out the president and his administration. A magistrate judge had initially refused to allow federal officials to arrest Lemon and take him into custody, but they took it to a grand jury in Minnesota and got a felony indictment. The indictment, unsealed this afternoon, alleges that Don Lemon and the others charged, quote, oppressed, threatened, and intimidated the church congregants and pastors. Here's some of what Lemon said during that live stream. Take a look.
I'm just here photographing. I'm not part of the group. I'm just here photographing. I'm a journalist. We don't know. That's what they're saying. So we're here just chronicling and reporting. We're not part of the activists, but we're here just reporting on them.
Don Lemon's attorney released a statement saying in part, quote, this unprecedented attack on the First Amendment and transparent attempt to distract attention from the many crises facing this administration will not stand. Don will fight these charges vigorously and thoroughly in court. When agents showed up at Georgia Fort's door,
all right, we're going to stop with the Georgia Ford, whatever her name is, person. So I want to go back to a couple of facts. Listen. Everything that Anderson Cooper just reported is factually true. It is factually true, right? I am here to tell you that I know facts are facts. Facts are facts regardless of your feelings, okay? So my transparency is that I know that facts are true, but at this point, I'm being a little bit more human than this robot who says, well, nothing's going to be done about it. It is what it is. No, I still kind of want him to have a hard time. I do. I don't care. I don't. Because Don Lemon, when you listen to the things that Don Lemon has said in the past, Don Lemon at one point said that people who didn't take the jab shouldn't be allowed to go to the hospital, okay? Bye. I have no sympathy for Don Lemon. Obviously, I want the laws of America, I want justice to be practiced the way that it's supposed to be. I get that, and it will. This will be dropped not that much will happen to Don Lemon, but if he comes out of his pockets at least like a couple $100,000 or something, maybe, I don't know. That's cool with me. That simply is because after a while, there has to be some consequences to your actions. Because we could act like for a second that Don Lemon was just reporting, but he liked what he was seeing. After you say that people who didn't take the jab shouldn't be allowed into hospitals, you're not human to me. You want me to feel bad for you? And then you called people who voted for Trump all dumb. Like, you talk about the American people in a certain way, and I'm supposed to now be like, no, we got to make sure the laws go right for Don Lemon. We got to make sure things work out correctly and all of that. And it will, right? But I don't have to be happy about it, nor do I have to push it. Now, there's just a couple things I will say. I think Pam Bondi and Chrissy Noem, these two people, really, I just think they're just performative women who just do whatever. I'm not a Pam Bondi fan. Again, this is kind of separate to the Don Lemon thing. Y'all can have at it with Don Lemon. But in general, she doesn't know how to present herself at all. She's on Fox News. Epstein Files is a whole big mess. There's nothing that's going to be done about it. So I'm not over here taking the side of this administration. I'm just taking my own side. How about that, right? And then lastly, the whole thing about the White House kind of posting this. I don't care what they did with Don Lemon. They were trying to be funny with the chains. I don't care because it is Don Lemon. Yeah, I'm dead serious. Short of, I don't want him to be unalived. I would never promote that or celebrate that, even though he would have celebrated it for me. Okay, right? But I wouldn't for him. But I'm gonna enjoy the hard time that they're giving him. But the White House does, they sometimes post, no, not sometimes, they post a lot of cringy stuff. But again, I don't care. I want to show you Don Lemon. How?
Black people.
Wow.
Brown people of all stripes, whether you're an Indian American or a Mexican American or whoever you are, go out in your place where you live and get a gun legally, get a license to carry legally. Because when you have people knocking on your door and taking you away without due process as a citizen, isn't that what the Second Amendment was written for? Black people, brown people.
It's like, yeah, that's what it's written for. Right. Okay. I'm a radical when it comes to gun ownership. I think that you should be able to buy them wherever you want to. I mean, the criminals, they're out there buying them on the street for like $15, right? So why are we stopping law-abiding citizens for actually getting guns? It's the weirdest thing to me. But telling people like, I'll have it just in case they come and grab you. I don't know. Like, it's just like, like, what are you preparing people for? What if you tell somebody that and that person is so unhinged or they're so scared that somebody knocks on the door to ask them a question and they already pulling out their piece? People have to be careful. I do believe you should be armed to the teeth. Again, no problem with that. And then, and I'll leave it there, right? Like, what are you talking about? And again, this is the same person this person is not, he's not a good person, okay? He's not. He believes that his Christianity is his own way. What did he say? Something about like, they do Christianity their way, I do mine my way, because he's gay. He's gay and black, so he has to have his black gay Christianity. It's weird. It's idolatry. It just is. Let me just share that with you. No, and this is him. Clive Davis is still alive? This can't be the same standing ovation. Wait a minute. Clown Don Lemon gets a standing ovation at pre-Grammy party for storming the church and being arrested. Why is this being applauded? Lock him up. I thought Clive Davis died. What's going on? I can't keep up. I mean, and it's like people forget that this guy had allegations out against him. Listen, it's not for me to approve of homosexuality or not, right? But okay, so there's that, right? But I also don't believe, right, that young, vulnerable kids who are questioning their sexuality should be taken advantage of. And there were huge allegations on, Don Lemon, and where did they go? They were huge allegations, and they were sick ones too, right? This guy makes me sick in every sense of the word. He does.
There is a reason why I think a reason why Donald Trump not only picked independent journalists, but black journalists in particular. Clearly, we know there's no love lost between Don Lemon and Donald Trump, that he's been very critical of the president. The president they've gone back and forth. But if we go back and undo all the layers of all of this, it was black journalists that were really at the forefront of calling Donald Trump out, from the birtherism movement throughout a lot of the things that they saw early before the rest of the press really picked up on some of the things that concerned a lot of black journalists. Hello, me, who also called out Donald Trump in 2017. And the reason why I think he picked these particular journalists is being independent. You don't have the backing of a CNN. You don't have the backing of a big network. The other part of it, too, is that if you can make them the face of this issue that is happening in Minneapolis, we know that given some of the racial issues that we have in this country, it is likely to have a lot less sympathy because they are journalists, one, and people hate the press, and two, because they're black. And so I do think that that's an important part of this, especially given the president's own language when it comes to anti-DEI and making black people the face of woke, and all that we've heard from this administration. All of this is combined together and meant to drum up a certain sentiment against these journalists, so that people are supporting their own rights being eroded because of who they think it's happening to.
Jemele Hill, again, she just only answers to her own ideology, right? Watch this. I do think that I should be able to perform his job without being harassed by certain people out in the streets, right? Because some of this stuff is harassment. It is, right? Not all of it is. However, I also think that ICE should be trained well enough, or we should be doing better background checks or something, or maybe not lessening the training on ICE, that that now they end up dropping everybody who gets in their way. Pretty much it feels like de-escalation is a thing. You know, grabbing your gun should not be. I'm sorry, the way they shot Alex Freddie was just like absolutely insane to me. Like, it's just not going to stop being insane to me. I don't care what side people are on. Like, somebody on all fours on their back is, I'm sorry, they're just not a threat. Don't care. Whatever. Watch. That's how that works, right? It's not about answering two sides. Don Lemon was not arrested because he was black. Don Lemon was arrested because he was there. The girl was arrested because she was there. But I don't understand. Like, so Trump put them there first so that he could arrest them, right? Okay. The birther thing with Barack Obama, I still have questions on that. Like, stop it. And it's bigger than, oh, he did that just because he's black. When you realize who really runs this country, please, that was a small question to ask. Okay. This thing, and then the last part where she says, he made the black people the face of woke. No, y'all did that. Y'all did that. Because I begged you not to do it. I said, you know, oh, he doesn't want DEI. Y'all still defending his DEI. That is not for you. Okay? The trans person is going to get the DEI before you do. It just is what it is. That's the facts of it. It's not about hating people or whatever. It should be on merit. Period. Okay? Period. I don't know why that's so hard to understand. Right? Okay. That said, but every time I would say that to people, I'd be like, do you know that as a black man, you will be, like, don't think that it's just about a white people thing. Like, next, if you're, you know, in line for the job, but a black woman comes or a white woman comes, they will actually they won't give you the job and they'll give it to her, right? People got mad at me and said, you hate yourself. What the hell is going on? It's not for you. And everybody got mad, and they wanted to be the face of this woke movement, okay? Stop it, Jemele Hill. This has nothing to do with anything. Don Lemon shouldn't have did what he did with that church. Don Lemon is the representative of degeneracy in my face with a suit on. I don't care. I don't care. This is me being completely myself and completely just being transparent about how I feel about the situation, but I'll end it with this. The court of law is going to supersede, and the charges will be dropped because in a court of law, he really didn't do anything wrong. I'm not dumb. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.